I'm going to read you some additional testimony.
Look at
I'll
her
try to
face.
put it on the
You
screen.
can read me as much as you want, but
And I will.
The
Thank you,
truth.
Madam DA.
She can't even look at him, dog. You don't know what to do. Look,
I apologize.
Pull up.
I did not intend to have to
Guys, pull up the paper.
get into this here.
Did he come prepared? I think not. You see what I'm saying? I have a black wife. You know what I'm saying? I was raised by a black mother. I was raised by black aunties. I have 5 black sisters. I have 2 very, very beautiful, light-skinned black daughters. I assure you, I will always know what I'm talking about before I come accuse them of doing something that they did not do. Even if I think they did it, I had better have concrete proof. Ooh, or the pain and the embarrassment that you will feel, bro.
And if I blow, niggas know it's been corrosive. Strutting down this muddy road, made more friends than foes. Did so many shows, said yes to.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, comrades, friends, people I don't like. There are probably, if I gotta say, I got heroes in my life like Malcolm, Martin, Marcus Garvey, like you know the typical guys. I would say a lot of my older ones that are women are Frances Cress Welsing, Fannie Lou Hamer, Callie House, these kind of people. Harriet Tubman, Rosa Parks. Rosa Parks sits at the top specifically because she's a goddamn gangster. Most people don't know that about Mother Rosa, but she's an actual, literal gun-toting gangster. Love her for that. But today, almost all of them are black women, especially black women in media. But then there's some like actual heroes like Fanni Willis, who do real actual work holding down the goddamn set. And she don't really take no shit. Similar to Jackie McCracken, except for she's actually like a lawyer fighting against bullshit and indicting people who commit crimes at a federal level in government. So this is the deposition about what she did when it came to indicting Trump in the and the recordings that, let me get 11,000 votes. All I need is like 11,000 votes, something like that. But they tried to question her, and she cooked their ass. This and many reasons, this is why women like her are my fucking hero. I have many black women that are my sisters and my cousins, and I learned really, 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 really early. If you come for them, you had better be well prepared. And this nigga that we're about to listen to is very unprepared. So let's. The ass whooping she gives this man, bro. Oh, God is good. I gotta tell you. Oh man, I live for stuff like this. I can't front.
Intimidate people from doing the right thing, and you think that you're going to intimidate me, but you see, I'm not Marjorie Taylor Greene. I ain't gonna quit in a month because somebody threatens me.
Bring charges in response to the 2020 presidential election in Georgia.
Don't answer that. That's a deliberative privilege. Don't answer that. I instruct you not to answer.
Is it true that part of your transition team was involved in the process of interviewing people before you entered office to lead the investigation into the 2020 presidential election?
I'd like to answer that.
Go right ahead. You only take my advice sometimes. Anyway, go ahead.
That's really an ignorant question. And if you understand what the word ignorant means, it means the lack of knowledge. If you recall the facts, I was already.
See, this is what I'm saying. She's being very specific right now. Very specific. This is what I mean by arguing with black women. This is the same term, a phrase I've heard. All right, cuz this is a term I've heard many times before. If you recall the facts, bruh, she's about to cook.
already district attorney when this all came to light. So it's factually impossible.
You were district attorney when what came to light?
When Raffensperger went on Good Morning America or whatever show he went on. I was already district attorney. So what you ask is a factual impossibility. Now, I know they've gotten black folks.
Now notice the neck roll. Notice the escalation in tone. He needs to come correct. He needs to proceed carefully. He will not. Notice the neck roll, though. Notice.
Went on Good Morning America or whatever show he went on. I was already district attorney. So what you ask is a factual impossibility. Now, I know they've gotten black folks confused and said I was running for office, saying I was going to prosecute the president of the United States, but that's what we call a lie.
Okay. I would like
Take
to.
your advice from here on out, okay?
Yeah.
Notice she mentioned, listen, my lawyer buddy, guy who I hired to help me handle these folks. I'm gonna take your advice now, but I gotta tell you, she's not gonna do that. Whew. Look,
If you take a look at the screen for me, if you will.
He panicking, y'all.
This is from Mr. Wade's deposition to members of Jim Jordan's committee. And it was asked of the search committee, you said that began when DA Willis took office on January 1, 2021. Is that correct? Yes. And there was outreach to you to be part of the search committee prior to January 1, 2021. Absolutely. When did that start? Sometime after the election, but prior to her taking office. Okay, so between the election, you're referring to November 2020 election, is that correct? Yes, ma'am. And so when you had conversations with individuals, you said on multiple occasions, you said no, and you turned down the position. Who were those conversations with? They were with the district attorney.
So I think you're confusing facts. We've already had a long conversation about I interviewed everybody at the DA's office and I interviewed other people to come and work at the district attorney's office. And as I told you, I did that on my free time before I became DA. But I had no way of knowing that these criminals were going to commit a crime. And that did not come to light until January of 2021 when I'm actually the DA. So it is a factual impossibility, like I already told you.
Now, notice what happened. He brought up a record interviewing somebody saying that she interviewed them to join the team specifically to prosecute President Trump when he commits this crime of election fraud. What she's responding to is saying, I did not know that there was election fraud because it did not come out until long after these processes have happened. Me getting elected, the interview, like I didn't find out until way in January. We interviewed him for the job in September or October, sometime in the fall probably.
I think that is misinterpreted. He's absolutely correct. We looked for talent for the district attorney's office before I became the DA. I didn't wait till the day I took office to look for talent that would represent my office. But I was unable to look for talent for a case that didn't exist before I took office. It's factually impossible. It's common sense. You don't need to be a lawyer.
The temperature has risen. She's about to cook that ass with a lot of seasoning too. You know how we season our food. He's about to get cooked.
I'm going to read you some additional testimony.
Look at
I'll
her
try to
face.
put it on the
You
screen.
can read me as much as you
Look.
want, but
I
that's
will.
the
Thank
truth.
you, Madam DA.
She can't even look at him, dog. You don't know what to do. Look,
I apologize.
pull
It's
up,
just
pull
I
up.
did not intend to have to
Guys, pull up the paper.
get
Pull
into
it.
this here.
Did he come prepared? I think not. You see what I'm saying? I have a black wife. You know what I'm saying? I was raised by a black mother. I was raised by black aunties. I have 5 black sisters. I have 2 very, very beautiful light-skinned black daughters. I assure you, I will always know what I'm talking about before I come accuse them of doing something that they did not do, even if I think they did it, I had better have concrete proof. Ooh, or the pain and the embarrassment that you will feel, bro.
What was when Mr. Wade says that there was an interview on line 13, as you'll see here, this is prior to you entering office. What were you interviewing him for?
I didn't interview him prior to him entering office. He had a thriving law practice. Even when he ends up being offered the position, he doesn't want it.
Okay, now. So it's your testimony today that you and Mr. Wade did not have any conversations prior to you taking office relative to.
Wait, so you're saying that the evidence that they gave me that I thought I had you on, that didn't happen?
Do an investigation into the 2020 election.
Don't answer that. That is a deliberative privilege of what goes on in a district attorney's mind and the process that goes.
She wasn't district attorney.
She don't care.
She was.
Look at her face. She don't care.
Prior to being
She'll answer
sworn
the
in,
question.
she was district attorney.
No, she was not. But you
She does not care. She will answer the question.
asked.
So I'll return to my question. Prior to you being sworn in as district attorney, is it your testimony today that you did not have any conversation with Mr. Wade about investigating the 2020 election?
Do you want to answer?
It's a dumbass question.
See?
I know it is, but go ahead and tell him because it occurred after she took office. But go
I
ahead.
didn't know that he was going to commit a crime prior to me taking office. Like, factually, it's impossible.
Okay, thank you.
Think that you're going to.
Let me turn your mic on.
One final one, you kind of touched on it, and that was, at the end of the day, this case here, this conspiracy case that took place, why did you bring this case?
Because folks came in my jurisdiction and broke the law. And as elected officials, there are things that are precious and that are our responsibility. One, in a free society, is keeping people safe. Right? And I stand on the line, keeping people safe every single day. I have dedicated my entire career to making sure that people are safe and that they feel valued. Children feel valued, no matter who you are. See, I'm not like these people. I believe in diversity. I've sat on my floor and cried with little white children, black children, Spanish children, and I fight with my last breath to keep those people safe. But I have also prosecuted black people, white people, Asian people. It doesn't matter to me. It seems to matter to some.
You know what's crazy is that when they did attack her, they was really just attacking her personal life, like her character, things like that, not her record and what she's done and for the community or what have you. And like, I think it was pretty much one of those kind of like attack hit jobs that they kind of approached it with. You know, like MAGA's really weird when it comes to black women. Their criticism of black women is always so disgusting. You know, it's always so, they're unintelligent. They're like the whole thing about her was, I believe, that she was cheating or she was dating some man and they made it about her sex life and her personal life and how she was probably taking advantage of someone who worked for her or something like that. It was pretty gross. I'm not gonna lie. It's good to see her be able to actually speak up for herself and fight back.
So I brought this case because they came in this jurisdiction and broke the law. And they didn't only break the law here, they broke it other places. Because the other thing that we have to do as a free society is we have to protect elections. It is important. If the people of this jurisdiction, the 19th, voted Senator Blake Tillery to be that senator, then I have to work to make sure that he is instilled into office. If someone does something, goes into a voting booth like they did in Coffee County, they do that. If they threaten workers, these little old people that work the polls, how dare somebody threaten them? And how dare you all not take that to be important? Is it not important because it was an older black female? It ought to be important to everybody. That's who you all are here to protect, those that cannot protect themselves. And I'm willing to stand on the line so y'all can keep threatening me, keep bringing me to these committees, keep auditing me, and I'm going to keep doing my job with excellence.
Bro, I really don't know what to tell you. You know, like, it is refreshing. It is amazing to watch and see people who who we all know are on the right side of history actually fighting back right now. And I think it's really interesting that it's mostly black women. I mean, it's not really interesting to me because I am well aware of what these women are capable of, especially when they know what the hell they're talking about, especially when they're one of the top lawyers in the state, if not the country. You got to give her a props. You got to give her a respect. I really, 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 really hope this goes absolutely nowhere. And, you know, these men, I hope they get. I really do hope they get what they deserve. I hope they never get elected again. You know.
And here she says, "I'm not afraid. I'll."
Me in here with this foolishness. I indicted them. I'm indict them again. If they committed a crime in my jurisdiction, I don't care if you like it. It's not 1948. No, let me get to this. It's not 1948. I know that you're offended that it.
I didn't. So here's the question.
He tried to shut a mic off. You heard that? Let's put this down. He tried to shut a mic off, and it obviously didn't work. Listen, she's still going.
But I would do it again. But I would also fight with my last breath to see that they were protected.
Then you had a Democratic state.
You all want to intimidate people from doing the right thing, and you think that you're going to intimidate me. But you see, I'm not Marjorie Taylor Greene. I ain't gonna quit in a month because somebody threatens me.
Seriously, nothing is making me happier. You know, the fact of the matter is that they tend to always want to steamroll people. They always want to try to get the last word in, or try to make some snide comment or smirk, or try to ask a question in a way that kind of attacks your character and the entire credibility of what you are trying to say. And it is beautiful to watch this woman dismantle them this way.
Right now, just yesterday, a judge in Wisconsin said you're going to face charges, 11 charges, based on similar scheme that took place in Georgia.
No, and it should be noted that Roman was indicted in 3 separate states, and that many of the co-defendants were indicted in separate states because, you know, and let's be clear so the record is clear. In my indictment in Arizona, they indicted John Eastman, Gina Ellis, Ruben Giuliani, Mark Meadows, and Mike Roman. Mike Roman was represented by Merchant, who came here and testified.
What she's mentioning is if you remember at this time, the ridiculous amount of claims that Rudy Giuliani, John Eastman, and just all these people who worked on behalf of Trump to pretend that the election was stolen and that it was a rigged election. And she's mentioning that because it's all tied into her case, which is Trump asking for 11,000 votes.
In Wisconsin, they also indicted Cheeseborough and Roman. And so, you know, we could go.
I never understood how that man's name is actually Cheeseborough. Like, how is that possible? The world is not fair.
On and on about in the federal case had only one defendant, Donald Trump, but he was also indicted in my case. So these defendants committed crimes in our state and other states, you know, and there's all this talk about political enemies. Not one of these defendants do I consider to be my political enemy. I'm sorry that they think of me as an enemy. I guess they don't know that their job is to serve me, to work for me, to make life better for me and my family, but they are not my political enemy, and I actually pray for them because I see issues.
And also,
shout out to this sister for humanizing these brothers, regardless of the fact that they're being disgusting and trying to lie. You know, I think that's what's the fundamental difference between us and them is that they have this faux pretend act like they care thing when they really, really don't. Because every policy that they work with or bring to light or try to work or try to push forward usually affects and hurts our communities. What she is saying is very, very specific. I fight for everyone. And, you know, you would think that these people would want to fight for me, would care to fight for me. And I think it's really, really interesting. And I think it's a testament to her character that she is literally humanizing these men, regardless of the fact that they're being so disgusting.
So within Wisconsin, the quote-unquote fake electors there actually got sued. And the discovery in that case was over.
This brother's a Democrat. I don't believe he's being adversarial in any way. I think he actually is trying to to bring some clarity to what's going on. But if you look at these other brothers on the side here, they are not interested in hearing a damn thing. Look at their faces. Look at this dude right here. Nope, not interested. Nope, not interested. Nope, not interested. He's probably checking Twitter. It's crazy.
577 pages. Now, you didn't get to the discovery process in your particular case, but I'm just curious because we were talking about Mr. Scandalakis and how deep he had gotten to your case. How voluminous was your case at the time it stopped?
Huge. Much of this room it could fill up, if not all of this room. It was huge. It was lots of witnesses that had to do a lot of work was put into this, because I always want to make sure that I am a fair DA, and that's why you see a grand jury recommending 39 people based on their conduct being indicted, and me cutting it down to 19, because I'm only going to put forth those with the worst evidence, who did the worst things. But I'm also a fighter for victims, and I was fighting for the victims in this case. And the fact that to some prosecutors, Ruby Freeman and her daughter have no value. She has value to me, and she should have value to other Americans. Because
Ruby Freeman and her daughter were two women who worked the elections, who were personally attacked by Trump on Twitter, which then brought on an entire whole harassment attack thing that involved death threats and them having to move and just some traumatic stuff. I mean, if you could have heard this woman in court, it was heartbreaking.
what happened to her is horrible, and for someone to say they couldn't prosecute a defendant who came in a room and lied for the grand jury, I mean, a baby prosecutor could have prosecuted it, but that's neither here nor there.
And lastly, where we're talking about billing being correct or things of that nature, or critical mentions, does any of that change the impact? I think what these co-conspirators were doing, based on the indictment, that the ultimate goal was to overthrow the 2020 election.
That was the ultimate goal. And we've had people that are supposed to be leaders that instead of being leaders are just cowering down. This country needs leaders, not cowards.
I don't have anything else, Ms. Chair.
And here, Fanni Willis goes back to that map. You're saying
It's within the range I have.
documents you're showing me. Here, play this clip.
Again, flawless, bro. What can you say to that? The clarity in which he understands the situation. I can't understand why they think they have a case.
The date that I have is January 24th of 2022. Does that seem like it's within the range of being the correct date?
So I already stated I don't trust you. I understand you're trying to run for lieutenant governor right now. Anything you want me to testify to, I'm going to need to see.
Okay.
That right there, son. The dagger. This is the part where the sister explains to you in very clear terms. Shut the fuck up. You don't know what you're talking about. Get out of my face. You see what I'm saying? You have to. Hey, do you think that around this time was the time that you committed the crime that I want to pin you on? Huh? Is this the time? What did you It's like when he started this, did he not realize he wasn't prepared? Did he think he was going to be more prepared later? Whose beds, bro?
Were you aware that in between the time of the special
She gonna
grand
shut that
jury
shit
being
down.
sworn in and receiving evidence, Mr. Wade
She gonna shut
traveled
it
to
down.
Athens, Georgia, to meet with officials from the White House counsel's office?
I don't recall.
On the right-hand side here is the meeting that I reference. Highlighted section reads, travel to Athens, conf with White House.
How does this
counsel.
assist you in developing laws
shit, she
for
grabbed the mic.
Georgia? Because I believe the purpose that I'm here for is because you all need assistance in doing your job, and you want assistance with rules and regulations around how people should be a prosecutor. And it made sense to me that you'd come to the best prosecutor in the state to ask for some advice. But I'm
Talk to him.
confused as to how this assists you in what the purpose of me being here is.
Talk to him.
Committee has a broad purpose. I'd be happy to refer to council as to the overall purpose of the committee. But my question for you is, as it relates
I don't
to
think
this
it's
travel-
relevant, so I'm objecting on relevance.
She's asking, she's told you that the
Hey, you're a fucking idiot. Not answering your questions. How about that one? I don't know what you want from this woman. You have a president who broke the law. He's on record, on tape, breaking the law. He's saying that he wants the votes. He's asking for the votes. He knows he doesn't have the votes, and he knows in order to get the votes, he has to go to the Secretary of State to get the votes. He then picks up the phone and say, hey, can you just magically give me these votes? I don't got these votes, but to win your state, I'm going to need these votes. Can you give me these votes? The Secretary of State is very clearly saying, hey, it doesn't work like that. I can't just do that. Her job was to prosecute the person who did that and broke the law. Just so happens it was y'all's president. Go listen to the tape. Go listen to the tape.
TUI process goes through the White House counsel's office. She's asked, it's been asked and answered.
And it's your testimony today that the travel to Athens, conference with the White House counsel, as far as you were aware, was due to a part of this TUI process that the governor's referencing.
I've testified I don't recall anything about this,
Okay.
and I don't see how it's relevant to what your alleged purpose is. Now, your real purpose is to try to get elected, which I would say, Georgia, please, let's elect any lieutenant governor but this one.
There you have.
Do. She lit him up. She lit him up. And rightfully so. You know what I mean? Rightfully so. She cooked his ass and he deserved to be cooked. I'm not gonna lie, man. That was fun to watch. But real quick, just because I don't want to just leave you with another reaction video, we're going to take a quick look at what it is that they were actually talking about. What it is that got him in trouble in actuality. Well, what got her in trouble. Because as you can tell, she knows she's not in trouble.
A Fulton County grand jury returned a true bill of indictment, charging 19 individuals with violations of Georgia law arising from a criminal conspiracy to overturn the results of the 2020 presidential election in this state.
Fulton County District Attorney Fanni Willis made a surprise decision to ask for an October 23rd trial start for former President Donald Trump and 18 other defendants in her sweeping racketeering case. The decision comes after a co-defendant, Kenneth Chesebro, specifically asked for a speedy trial. At the
It's Chesebro. My bad. Kenneth Chesebro.
same time, the House Judiciary Committee is launching an investigation into Willis, demanding the prosecutor turn over key information detailing the criminal indictment of former President Donald Trump regarding his efforts to overturn the 2020 election.
They want to steal the election. The radical left knows exactly what they're doing. They're ruthless, and it's time that somebody did something about it.
In a letter sent by Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan, the committee leader accused Willis of using the indictment to interfere with the presidential election, especially because Trump is the current GOP frontrunner. Jordan's request for information comes just hours before the former president is expected to surrender himself to Fulton County officials for his arraignment in the case. Willis announced the indictment charges after conducting a 2.5-year investigation into Trump's efforts to reverse his loss to President Joe Biden in Georgia. Willis has until next month to provide the materials to the Judiciary Committee.
Now, I don't understand where the confusion is, and I don't understand how they think it's a conspiracy to get Trump. Trump made the phone calls. He went out of his way to try to steal the election. And if you look at the indictment, the quick preview on those papers, like all those same people did try to do the same thing in a whole bunch of other states that they thought that they could swing the election in. Rudy Giuliani, John Eastman, a whole bunch of other things, 17, 18, 19, whatever, however many names that were on there. This is their attempt to try to hold her accountable for trying to do her job. Guys, this is indicative of a huge problem. This is why the progressive movement needs to fight harder, to put up more progressive candidates, to be loud and proud, and not only that, but actually talk about the things that progressives offer, so that these guys can stop being cowards and fight more on our behalf. And we need to make sure that we are supporting and speaking in a positive light about people like Fanni Willis, because she is actually going to bat to stop people from doing things that they shouldn't be doing, like trying to steal an election. Everyone know you lost. Like, jeez, bro. I mean, even to this day, he still would not admit he lost the election. His ego cannot take it. It is horrible. It is ridiculous. But either way, peace and love. It's Pinhead Politics. I really appreciate y'all stopping by. I'm going to try to make as many videos as I can. I might make some in the daytime, believe it or not. I usually make my videos at night when my family's asleep, but I might actually get to make some in the daytime now. What else? As you can see, we moved away from what our name was for, for the podcast. We got a new logo. We got some fresh new musica for the podcast, so that we can, try to bring a more polished product to you guys and try to do this a little bit more often. So with all that, I'm still DJ Pinhead. This is Pinhead Politics. May the good Lord bless your bones, as the old folks used to say. That's love. Oh, and let me just point out, my wife got me this mic for Christmas because she got tired of yelling at me for being on Facebook. So if anybody's watching this, please watch this podcast. Okay? Please watch it. Please like the videos. Please subscribe to the videos. Please come check me out. I'm doing my very best to not annoy my wife. So I'm staying over here. Right? I'm going to stay over here. What's that over there? My kid's teddy bears. I'm staying over here. Man. With all that, talk to y'all soon. Come on.
And if I blow, niggas know it's been corrosive. Strutting down this muddy road, made more friends than foes. Did so many shows, said yes to a lot of them. Few weeks later, I don't hear peep out of them. You gotta stay focused on goals, don't ever switch up. Keep applying pressure while these other artists hiccup. Drift up from the socks to the cloth, that's on my head top. Trying to stay close to my people like I'm the red body. Think that I'm Jedi mind tricking, it's just me. Is it hard for y'all to understand the world just in love with heat?